My name is Lucy Adams and I'm the North East Regional Board Chair for Remembering Srebrenica. I first got involved with the charity in 2017 when I went to a memorial event hosted by Smile, who's one of our North East board members, and I only found out about the event because someone I worked with had told me I might be interested in it because I was doing a peace studies module at university that year. And after the event I was truly and completely horrified that I didn't know any of this had happened. I didn't know there'd been a war in Bosnia. I'd never even heard of Srebrenica, and I couldn't believe that this had happened 2 years before I was born. And 25 years ago isn't a long time, but we don't learn about it in schools, and I think that's a huge issue and something that needs to be changed. And after the event, I decided I wasn't done with learning about this, and I got in touch with the charity and signed up to one of their delegations to Bosnia and visited Srebrenica and Potocari and learned more there. And that was a truly harrowing and eye-opening experience, and I knew that I wasn't done. After that trip I wasn't done learning, so I asked the charity if I could do an internship with them, and I ended up doing that for 18 months, and now I chair the North East Regional Board and get to work with the board on memorial events in the region. And we have a Bosnian community in the North East, so we work with them to educate and to commemorate and make sure that we don't allow atrocities like this to happen again. And I wanted to tell the story of one of the survivors who I met last year, called Gateshead, who's one of the mothers of Srebrenica and spoke at the UK National Memorial last year. And her story is so powerful. It is a story of losing two of her sons and her husband in the genocide. And the thing that really struck me about this story is that there is not a single ounce of hatred, no desire whatsoever to seek revenge. And I think that shows true strength and courage. So this is Ramiza's story. My husband Yunus was 42 when he was killed. My sons Mustafa and Meredin were just two out of over 8,000 men and boys who were brutally killed in Srebrenica in 1995. 25 years have passed since their deaths. Mustafa was buried in 2005, Yunus in 2009, and Meredin in 2010. But the memories of what happened, the screams, the shots, and the most unbearable of all, the terrified, pleading eyes of my son Mustafa will continue to haunt me for the rest of my life. My last sight of Mustafa came as I was being driven from Srebrenica by bus. I saw a cowering group of prisoners by the roadside under armed guard. They were part of the column of men and boys who had tried to escape through the woods. As the bus passed, a Bosnian Serb soldier shouted to the women, "Recognise your sons and your husbands. This will be the last time you see them." I looked up and saw that one of them was Mustafa. We made eye contact and then he bowed his head. It was the last time that I saw him alive. I do not know what happened to Meredin. As for my husband Yunus, he was seen with a group of 1,000 captured men and boys who were herded into a warehouse and slaughtered. All of them were so gentle and kind-hearted. There isn't a day that goes by where I don't think about them. I still go to bed with pain and wake up with sadness. I could tell you about all of the horrors that I witnessed there with my own eyes. I saw a pregnant woman slaughtered. I saw a young boy who must have only been about 10 years old decapitated by a Serbian soldier in front of my own eyes. The horrors that I have had to endure in life haven't stopped. They continue to this very day. As a member of the Mothers of Srebrenica Association, we have been campaigning for justice every single day for the last 2 decades. We have never sought vengeance, and we have never acted with hatred, because hatred is a sign of weakness which we refuse to succumb to. All we have ever asked for is justice and truth. Yet here I am, 25 years later, having lost my loved ones, whilst the perpetrators of these crimes walk free and get to talk and see their family. Where is the justice in that? We live among people who know where our children are buried, but they refuse to tell us. We have politicians who feel no shame in making statements in public that deny that a genocide was committed. We will never stop fighting for truth and justice. As we women grow older, we feel the weight of responsibility on our shoulders to ensure that our stories and the stories of our loved ones are heard and remembered, and that when we are gone, others will continue to fight for justice. I ask all of you to help us with this fight. I stand shoulder to shoulder with you in confronting hate and intolerance, as we know more than anyone else what hatred can lead to if it is allowed to flourish unchecked. That is a story that will stay with me forever, and to hear how a mother lost 2 of her children and her husband but continues to fight for justice and truth is truly inspiring and really shows the strength of the survivors and the work that needs to be done, because perpetrators do still walk free and mothers still don't know where their children are buried, and that's awful. That means the suffering never stops, and every time a survivor tells their story they relive that experience. There are events taking place all over the UK and the world this week to mark 25 years since the Srebrenica genocide. Please join us in commemorating and remembering those who had their lives taken from them and ensuring that we don't allow hatred to flourish unchecked. Thank you.